Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Connect the Knox. I'm Julia Hurley, your host for the show, Connecting Knoxville to the Nation. Today's guest is Travis Howerton, local entrepreneur, CEO, and founder of a massive tech company that protects some of the world's biggest secrets over at ORNL and some pretty big places like that. Travis, please introduce yourself to our group of people across the nation that tune into our podcast, and thank you for being here.
So Travis Howerton, as you mentioned, I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO at RegScale. I spent 20 plus years in U.S. national security. I retired as the first chief technology officer of the U.S. nuclear weapons program. Went over to Oak Ridge National Lab and ran their IT service division for a couple of years. And then led digital transformation globally for Bechtel for a few years. Now, everywhere we went, we kind of found that compliance processes kind of slowed everything down in these large organizations. And we got frustrated enough that we decided to do something about it. And we built a company that's automating many of these risk and compliance challenges that help the largest companies in the world innovate faster.
That's a lot. I may or may not have seen you. I'm not sure. Were you at the Now conference just recently?
I've been to the ServiceNow conference in the past, but not recently. Or are you talking about the Nuclear Opportunities Workshop?
Yeah, Nuclear Opportunities Workshop. I actually attended this year.
Oh, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it this year. I was at the Department of Energy CyberCon conference, but I have attended in the past. And
of course, the DOE has their own CyberCon conference. That's amazing.
Yep. And but I am a proud member of ETech for many years. So we do generally try to support economic development in East Tennessee.
I love it. Okay, so for everybody out there, we have so many people that tune into this podcast. One, because a lot of people relocate to the Knoxville, Tennessee area. East Tennessee is very ripe for relocations. We're using a lot of acronyms. So let's throw that out there and help people understand, one, what we're talking about, and two, what that means for them.
What it means for Knoxville is that we're becoming more of an entrepreneurial city. And so when you think of traditional venture capital, you think of San Francisco and Austin and Boston and these big mega hubs. We were able to raise a very large Series A round at a very atypical place. And so what's changing in the world post-COVID is the money's not always isolated in these centers now, which opens up investment in new areas like Knoxville. And what makes Knoxville interesting is you've got a strong university in the University of Tennessee. You've got cheap power in TVA. You've got a lot of entrepreneurial talent at Oak Ridge National Lab. And you put all those things together with a very friendly business climate and a very relatively low cost of living relative to those other hubs I mentioned. And it starts to become a very attractive place for outside investment, which helps grow businesses, which helps attract more of those people to Knoxville.
Yes, I so agree. And E-Tech is something that I've been in and out of, I would say, for the better part of now 12 years. I remember E-Tech when their coffees actually started at 5:30 a.m. I know they've gone to 7:30 a.m., so it's been a minute. But for those out there that don't know, E-Tech, East Tennessee Economic Council, and we have the tech corridor between Oak Ridge and Knoxville, Oak Ridge National Lab, Bechtel, which used to be Bechtel Jacobs, Y12, K25. We have, what is that new company that just got Bill Gates to invest in the Knoxville market?
Is it Kairos Power?
Oh, no, but they're new as well. They were at the Now conference and they're talking about trillium mining and bringing like a gram of trillium here that can power almost an entire city on 1 gram of trillium.
We are definitely becoming a hub for clean energy investment. Especially with our background and expertise in nuclear. So if you read some of Bill Gates' books, who most people would not describe him as a staunch Republican, right? But he is big on nuclear being the only answer to climate change in any reasonable amount of time that is cost effective in any way. And so you're seeing all these really high-tech, clean energy nuclear companies that make safe nuclear reactors. And so when you think nuclear, most people think scary, Chernobyl, Oppenheimer movie, all those sorts of bad images come to mind. But these are micro reactors. They're very small. They're inherently safe. And they put off no fossil fuels or anything bad for the environment. So it's exciting. So if you look at the capabilities we have at Y12 and ORNL, the capability to have at TVA, and then the money coming from the governor's office to accelerate nuclear. It's an exciting time to be doing nuclear things in East Tennessee.
It really is. So tell everybody out there how you are encompassing all of that into your company.
So we just want to be part of the ecosystem. So we're big on rising tides, float all boats. And so you just want to create opportunities. So whether it's in engineering and nuclear, for us, we're a high tech, sort of traditional San Francisco style startup. So you want to be in high tech and cyber, there's going to be options in Knoxville now. And so I never thought living in Tennessee that this opportunity would be available to me, that we could raise this kind of money, we could build a big company like you would in San Francisco or Austin, that you could do that in Knoxville. But we're hoping to set a blueprint for it so that others can follow and do the same things. But it's exciting. There's a lot of opportunity for new jobs. We've got a bunch posted now. And so it's creating jobs. People are relocating to Knoxville to be part of RegScale. And we hope as we grow that more and more of that happens.
We're excited for you. I love to learn all about the new businesses coming to the Knoxville market. It's one of the best things about this podcast. We get to announce local people who own local things, who globally and nationally make a difference in this market. So that's huge. You live in Oak Ridge. You went to Oak Ridge. Tell us about you as a person.
So I live in Oak Ridge. So I worked in the Department of Energy, which their hub is here in Oak Ridge. So I've lived here since 2010. I grew up in Knoxville, went to Central High School, got my first degree at Pellissippi State, then went to Tusculum College, got my master's at Boston University, spent a little time at headquarters in DOE in Washington, D.C., but pretty much have always maintained a residence here in East Tennessee. But currently live out in Oak Ridge, love it here, work out of Cherokee Farms. So we put our office in the new research park just across from the hospital on the water there at the UT campus, which is a beautiful location, gives us great access to the brightest students on campus as a recruiting pipeline, and we've really enjoyed it out there.
So let's talk about that. What do you look for as far as maybe interns or recruitment? I know, and many people I'm sure assume, if they don't know, that you do have to have some special clearances to be able to work in the career that you're working in, especially with the companies that you work with. What does that process look like for maybe a student looking for that opportunity, maybe to be in engineering or nuclear energy or something along the lines that you would want them as an intern or possibly as a hire in the future?
Yeah, so at RegScale, our R&D office is in Knoxville. So we're looking for the best and brightest computer scientists, software engineers, data scientists who want to work in high-tech entrepreneurial sort of environment. They don't want the traditional corporate ladder. They'd like to get on the ground floor of something, build it, have more of a creative entrepreneurial spirit. It's kind of what we look for here. We recruit nationally for our marketing, sales, other sorts of opportunities, but in general, all of our R&D is local here in Knoxville. As you mentioned, we do national security work for the Department of Defense and other places. So it does come with expectations of clean living. So, you can pass a drug test and those sorts of things. Nothing unsavory in your background. But if you can meet those requirements and you enjoy engineering on complex problems, there's opportunities at RegScale.
We all know that real estate is location, location, location.
Our team at Just Homes Group has the true expertise, pairing buyers and sellers with the right opportunities.
Whether you're looking to buy or sell a home right here in Knoxville,
Lenoir City, Clinton, or Farragut, we have the expertise throughout every Knoxville surrounding area. Call Just Homes Group today.
I love that. I love that so much. So tell us about the next year of your growth plan. Where are you on target to be? What are your future plans and where would you like to be in the Knoxville market?
So over the next year, we plan to continue growth. We're growing rather rapidly now. So we've raised our Series A. So in the next year or so, somewhere in that time frame, we'd like to raise a Series B. At that point, we should probably double in size or so. So that'll be the next huge tranche of growth for us as we go try to capture this continuous controls monitoring market. But that's the trajectory we're on. We're still a hyper growth company and looking to continue on that track.
Tell me what you mean by continuous controls.
So in the past big companies would buy these tools called GRC tools, governance, risk, and compliance. And basically, it's a way of looking at what you're doing, making sure you're meeting the requirements, generating tons of paperwork manually, having people review it, do risk assessments. But it's a way of making sure when you're big that you're following all the laws and regulations, that you're not incurring undue risk to your business. But it's insanely manual. And the bigger you are, the more burdensome these processes get. So you think large government agencies, financial institutions, utilities. What we've done is say that doesn't really work in a cloud native world that's moving at light speed. Nobody has time to write this paper, much less read it. And so when you look at that, we thought we'll move everything to compliance as code. We'll make the paperwork update itself. It'll be more real time. We'll use AI and other things to just make tons of labor and pain and costs go away. And improve the risk posture for businesses at the same time. And so the biggest of the big companies have found this approach very attractive. So it's the same outcomes you would always get in GRC, just done in a very modern and different way that has a strong business case. And that's really been the engine for our growth.
I love that. Tell me about how you incorporate AI. I know that's such a hot button topic. Recently, the government still can't keep up with any conversation in that whatsoever. And it is genuinely growing faster than we can even talk about a regulation or cap on that. How are you all incorporating and controlling your AI usage?
So there's a couple of things there. One is that will continue to be the case. So if you're familiar with Moore's law, it's basically that processing speed is sort of doubling every few years, and it's an exponential. And humans don't do well with exponential equations. They just go faster than human brains can keep up with. So at some point, the thing gets its own momentum. Where we're at today is we're not on the fear mongering side of it. It's just going to take everybody's job. What we're trying to do is supercharge people, where you might have 10 people's worth of work, but you can only afford 2 of them. There's these massive backlogs. You can only afford 3. How do we make each one of those people perform like 5 people? That's where AI can really help. So it gets out of these stare and compare exercises that happen in audits. It can do a lot of that work for you, bring the information to the human who can make the right risk-based decisions, but get them out of doing a lot of the low value work that it takes to get to that point. And so what we're trying to do is improve quality of life for the humans, get more work out of them for the same amount of input, and sort of supercharge humans. So at some point, it will get good enough in the future where you may not need as many humans in some of these areas, but it's not to that point yet.
I love that you say supercharge humans. I think that should be your slogan. RegScale, we supercharge humans. All right, tell us a little bit about you as a person. And we've got about 12 minutes left in this conversation. So let's really flip the scales to who you are, who your family is. Like, what do you find relevant in the Knoxville market as far as bringing your business here? And what has made you decide to stay?
So I'm married with 2 kids. So my wife, Beth, is a real estate agent. So when you talk about the people who are relocating to Knoxville, she's a buyer's agent. She's been one of the top ones in Knoxville for years over at Slyman Real Estate. And so the more people who are relocating, the better. So yeah, so Beth is my wife. And then we've got our 2 girls, Taylor and Sarah Beth. They go to Concord Christian School. And so we like the family values of living in the South. We got our kids in a private Christian school. We like the business climate. Her family's close, so we got access to convenient babysitting. And so for me, I'm a nerd. I just like to code and play video games and other things. My wife is more fun than me, so she's the one who likes to travel and do other stuff. But day to day, mostly like working, building the business. I'm a crappy golfer, so if I get a chance to go out and play golf, I enjoy it. And that's about it for me.
What growth opportunities do you see for younger people to be able to want to stay and live and raise a family in the Knoxville market?
I think it's better than ever. So in the sort of pre-COVID, some of the top tech jobs and other things, if you wanted that career, you had to move away. And so there wasn't really any option to pursue the top careers in those fields and live in Knoxville. post-COVID, workforces are getting increasingly more distributed, where you can work from anywhere. We all live on Teams and Zoom and other things. And so what they found is they can get cheaper labor in some of these places that aren't San Francisco and get the same level of productivity out of them. So the opportunity to be able to do those things is greater. Also, Knoxville itself is booming economically, the number of jobs moving. Not just the high tech on our side, but manufacturing jobs, other things. So the ability to find work here, I think it's on the other side where we're constrained as employers to find enough talent because there's so many jobs being created right now. And so that's also why you see so many people moving here because that's not true everywhere. Lots of places are shrinking, other places are rising. It takes a while for those trends to happen. But if you look from here to Chattanooga to Nashville, Tennessee's done a great job of creating very friendly business climates. And you can see it from Oracle, the new Ford factory, just across the state. Tennessee's just been booming.
Yeah, Tennessee's definitely changed quite a bit over the last decade. Nashville has tripled in capacity. Chattanooga has doubled. I anticipate Knoxville will do the same in the next 5 to 6 years. So we are always keeping an eye out on how to maintain a conversation with the younger generation. We have a lot of different possibilities for growth and opportunity and jobs, not necessarily a conversation in Knoxville to keep them here. We are definitely no Nashville or Austin as far as the ability to provide things to do. I feel like we're growing in that arena and shifting the conversation over to that. What are some of your favorite things to do in Knoxville when people visit you? What is your hidden gem, I guess you could say, as far as a tour goes or a suggestion box?
I like the lake. I love being on the water. There's lots of lakes here. So if you're into lakes and boating, lots of opportunity. The Smoky Mountains here. We like to go to Dancing Bear up into the Smokies. I think that's one of the best places to eat in all of Tennessee. Amazing food, amazing service up there. Nice, quiet little place to get a lodge. They got a little coffee place at the bottom. So we like to get away for weekends up to Dancing Bear periodically. So that's, I think, one of the hidden gems. My wife loves to tailgate at UT football games. So that never gets old, and we're good again, which is a lot of fun. And then there's a lot of good places to eat now downtown. From Gay Street to the Old City, we had 3 or 4 places I really enjoyed. I'm a foodie. I like to travel and go to high-end restaurants and other things. We just didn't have a lot of that, but there's probably 7, 8 solid spots downtown that are as good as anywhere you'll find in Nashville or one of those places. So we don't have the music scene or the big some of the bigger amenities that Nashville has, but it is a great place to raise a family. There's plenty to do here. And if you like the outdoors, there's a lot to do here.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And South Knoxville being so close to the mountains and having access to hundreds of acres of protected land makes it a very hikeable, bikeable, family-oriented place, as well as a high-end restaurant place. Well, definitely has a lot of food and entertainment. So Travis, wrapping this up, tell us a little bit again, just go through what it is that your company, RegScale, provides, does, and kind of pitch it. Hey, listen, while you're out there, visit blank. Tell people where they can find your company and apply for these amazing career opportunities, because what you're doing for Knoxville is huge, and I think people really need to know.
So if you go to regscale.com and click the careers, you can always see the open jobs. We are growing and constantly hiring, so we're looking for the best and brightest. And so if you're interested in an entrepreneurial experience, we'd encourage you to apply for any of those jobs that seem like they might fit your skill set. If you're struggling with risk and compliance challenges and you're sick of writing paperwork that nobody wants to read and nobody wants to write, and you're looking for a better answer, come check us out. We might be able to help solve some of your problems. And if you're just new to the area and you want to get connected in business, reach out to us. We can plug you into eTech and the Knoxville Entrepreneurial Center and KTech, the Knoxville Technology Council. There's a lot of things going on and ways to get connected in the community. So if you're new to the community, you want to get involved, want to get connected, we're happy to connect you up as well.
I love that so much. Travis, thank you so much for being a guest today. Everybody, listen up. We have such an amazing, dynamic year planned ahead for our interviewees. Stay tuned for the next episode of Connect the Knox. I'm Julia Hurley, your host, connecting Knoxville to the nation. Until next time.
Thank you for tuning into the show. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a 5-star review on your podcast player of choice. And if you would like information on moving to Knoxville, send me a private message. As always, this is Julia Hurley, connecting Knoxville to the nation.